Hi, I am Kevin.
I'm Wanda.
And we are the Curious Crusaders. We're going from RV camping to RV living full time. The first parent here, her name is Sylvie. She is kind of shy and not very rambunctious. This one here, his name is Spunky. He is very curious and he tries to get around and gets into trouble. They happen to be our camping companions. Spunky here, he comes along with me quite a bit. He loves camping. And if you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe and follow, and you always see updates when we do them. Thank you. You know, I forgot Dodge City restricted firearms after a while for the Old West. But this here's the old jail. And I wish our jails were still like this. Maybe people won't be doing so much crimes and stuff, but this is I like there with my brother, you heard. But look, there was 2 cells in this thing, and you can actually see how small they are. I mean, you got a spot right there where you can use the restroom and sit down or lay down on a hard floor. You got bars, and you had a wooden door you can close up. My problem is I can see why there were some jailbreaks. Right there is the hole in the floor for them, for the restroom. But everything was made out of wood except for the door. And the window right there had some metal bars on there. So I guess that's how they were able to break out so easy in the Old West. And this here is an old church. And this is the other side view of it. And I had to take some pictures of the old Bibles that were in there and what the little old church looked like. Right there, I couldn't figure out if that was the piano organist. I'm sorry, I forgot. I couldn't think about what one was what. And right there's the little office the preacher had. That's where you make out his paperwork. And another, I think that right there was the organ, and the other one was the piano they had. That's my brother Chris and his wife Becky. They came down from Michigan. That's why I came over from Colorado, and we were able to meet up and stay together for about 5 days, I think it was. We were able to run around back and forth. That was an old wagon in the outhouse. This building here was under construction. You could see the yellow tape across the porch there and the plastic up in the windows, so we couldn't go inside to look at it, but it looked kind of fancy. And next right here was an old blacksmith. The tools he had and things he had hung up. That building right there, they were redo. I just couldn't get the picture of the outside because they had so much junk around it. And next there's the old boardwalk. You usually walk around. And as you can tell, you had the barrels and the wooden planks and everything, which is cool. And actually we started walking into buildings. This here was one of the halls, I guess, where they had their meetings, a town hall, I guess you can call it. And they hung things up on the wall and pictures, and so it made it pretty nice to see what items they actually had around the area. And next on the outside, he had pictures of the old coffee pots and the blankets. And you notice every picture, nobody's ever smiling in these pictures because it takes so long for them to develop. And right there's an old horse trough and the hitching rail. And you go inside a general store here. Some of the things they did have, and some souvenir things. So you're going to see old and new ones in these videos. So John, Becky, my brother Chris again, and their son Kenneth. And little jars of jam right there. And like I said, he had new stuff and old stuff in here. And I was hoping to see an old flour sacks or sugar salt sacks like that, or barrels. You know, the old flour barrels where you used to have to scoop it up and everything, but I didn't see any of that in there. So that made it kind of rugged. And believe it or not, the store was a little bit cool. They had an old cash register there, and some old wash basins, and old jugs, another old cash register. There's where they used to play chess in the general store, as you always know. And they always gathered around. And my nephew Kenneth again, old walking sticks. Right there were some red flannels. You know, they had to wear flannels out during winter and stuff. And there's some old chessboards, 6-shooters for sale. They had some old keys right there for sale. Some flannel. You can tell that was in an old life because they didn't have electricity back those days, so. They did have some old games. I don't remember if you guys ever remember playing marbles, but here you could select your own marbles, and they told you how much they were a piece, and they had little ones, and they had the shooter ones, the big ones. It's been a while since I played with marbles. And right there's a book to explain how to play it. And then you had to pick them up sticks, and old bags they used to have. That was a train whistle. And up there in the top it said jacks, so they had jacks. They were playing wooden jacks and the yo-yo. The yo-yos look pretty cool. Made me think, wow, you can go out and paint them and make your own design on them. And right there was their old finger tops. The kids used to play with and spin them. That was the jacks again. And then those right there were just spinning tops. You had to roll them in your hand and make them fly up. And right there was an old roll top desk. Now there was a really old roll top. And they had the books about Dodge City for sale. Old magnifying glass, compasses. And then they had another old merchandise desk there. They should have had some nice old items, so it did make it nice. There's those old jugs. And I thought it said $100. It's supposed to be a bag of money, but it'll be up for right there. You know how the buffalo fur they sold and everything to make stuff with. And there's an old horse trough again. And since it was a COVID-19, they didn't have any shows going, but at least these buildings were open, and they had a little battery slow inside the saloon, so they had dancing girls, but with COVID-19 going on, that there was not actually showing either. They did have some good tasting whip beer in the saloon. It was a little bit expensive. Right there with my brother and sister-in-law again. And next I had to take some pictures of faraway distance, just where people would have been sitting if there were shows, this way they could watch the shootouts and fights or whatever type of shows they ever had there. And And they actually had two different saloons. I saw there was a Peacock Saloon and the Oriental Institute Saloon, something like that. I forgot what the name was. And they had an old-time restaurant there that was closed. They weren't cooking nothing. But it did make it pretty nice to walk around with. And my wife hasn't been talking or nothing in this because she actually had to stay home and work. So I missed my better half the whole time I was there. But it was nice to visit with family since they came down from Michigan. And just some more of the other saloons. I mean, they sure did had a lot of saloons. Dry goods and clothing stores. All right, thank you.